Back again, back again, back again. What is up, YouTube? I actually wanted to make this video about spiritual warfare and just my experience with it so far, even recognizing that it is spiritual warfare, recognizing when, other forces are attempting to put pressure on you. And I believe a couple of things about this. So first of all, I just want to say that if you are experiencing a lot of negativity in your life and you're not asking for it, you're not doing anything to deserve it, then typically that means that you're under attack, or you're going through a period of spiritual warfare, right? And all that means is that there are forces, dare I say even entities, in the spiritual realm that are moving in a certain way to try to separate you from your path. So for example, things have been going really well for me, and I'm introducing a lot of healthy habits. Let me say, I'm introducing a lot of habits, a lot of healthy habits and activities into my life, and I'm just constantly working on my mindset, constantly trying to improve how I'm living. And I noticed that these strange things just keep happening, where negativity will pop up out of nowhere, and it will try to make itself seem so imposing to almost make me give up or revert back into negativity. And I'll give you a couple examples. So about a week ago, I was driving. Do we still say that? Anyway, all right, I'm gonna get on track. So I was driving my truck a week ago or so, and I left a place and I went down a road following my GPS. I should have been paying more attention, but I'm following the GPS, and it takes me down a road that's no longer open. I can't get through. So I end up having to turn around. Well, in attempting to turn around, I have to back into this man's driveway, right? And again, I'm driving the 53-foot semi and whatnot. So I back in, or the truck with the 53-foot trailer. So I back into the driveway. I'm trying to turn around, and this guy comes out. He immediately starts cussing me out. I'm every dumb F in the book. I'm a bastard. I'm every word that he can come up with, right? Just spewing negativity. I'm like, hey, sir, I'm sorry. Look, I'm just trying to turn around, and I'll be on my way, right? Now the logical thing, in my opinion, and we're all different, but I'm like, okay, don't hit anything, don't cause any damage to the property, and be on your way, right? And we good to go. This dude, after cussing me out for a while, realizing, I guess, that I wasn't affected by it, or I wasn't going to react to his negativity, I'm just like, okay, I'm focused on trying to get the truck out the way and whatnot. He's like, I'm gonna pop a cap in you, right? Goes back in his house and comes out with his gun, with his pistol, and it's just standing there like holding his pistol, ready to, I guess, shoot at me or whatever. And I'm just thinking in my head, like, bro, how can you put this much negativity out over me moving a truck? You know what I'm saying? Like turning a truck around. And it comes back to the concept of even that we're all Americans, we're all supposed to be comrades and partners, but you'd pull a gun on me for literally delivering goods that you likely purchased. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, my main point, I return to the concept of just spiritual warfare, and that's just how that enemy or that force will distract you for a moment and put you in a situation where it can attempt to put fear in you. And this is really important, because once it attempts to put fear in you, that's where you have to make the choice, and you have to be aware. Because I truly believe that these negative entities or spirits or whatever, this negative force, cannot harm you unless you go into a state of negativity yourself. So all day what will happen is that force will try to poke at you and poke at you and poke at you, right? And get you out of balance and out of alignment with your positive self, with spirit, with source, right? With that higher energy. And once you're out of alignment, then you're open to attack. And I try not to get too religious, but I was watching this video. This guy was talking about the armor of God and whatnot, and just being covered by God, or covered by a higher power. And it really resonated with me, because that's so true, that you are covered and you are blessed and protected. But it's when you start to let that negativity into your mind, right, and you start to feel it in your body, and you just truly fall out of alignment with that covering, that the enemy can attack you, that those negative forces can attack you. So of course, in that situation, I just stayed positive. I remained calm, got the truck out the way, and I left, right? Dude was like screaming at me, cussing. He's got his gun out, somebody's calling the police, all this stuff, all because I'm turning the truck around. Didn't cause any property damage or anything, right? So anyway, fast forward. So actually just the other night, and this is just another example of spiritual warfare and how I recognize it manifesting in my life. So just the other night, I'm at a store, and I'm dropping off. I'm about to drop the trailer off, and I'm standing. They leave me standing outside for a long time before they ever open the door, and I kind of just I started to get this feeling of negativity myself. It's like, this don't seem right. You know what I'm saying? So I sit there, I try to get grounded, like put my feet in the grass and whatnot. I'm like, well, if I'm gonna stand here, I'm gonna stand here, right? Let me be as positive as I can be. So eventually they open the door, and right off the bat, the manager that opens the door is just giving me this death stare. I don't even know if I can. Just looking at me, right? Like his wife cheated on him, he got in a car wreck, and his dog died all in the same moment, okay? I mean, just looking at me like he was wishing nothing but death on me. And I'm like, all right, hey, what's going on, man? You know what I'm saying? Like, what's up? Here to drop the trailer. This should be a real quick interaction. So I go in, I get to where I'm dropping the trailer. There's all this stuff in front of the door where I have to back the trailer in. So I start moving stuff around, and I recognize dude is gone. I get the stuff moved out of the way, and I pop this little ladder down so I can sit on it while I wait for him to come back. Dude comes back, and immediately he's like, oh, you need to get off of that. You can't sit there. I'm like, okay, all right. I get off of it, and he's like, what door are you in? And I try to tell him, I'm like, oh, I'm in that door, the one I had to move all the shit out in front of. And he turns around and gives me that same death stare. And he's like, you can't cuss in here. I got minors working here. You can't cuss in here. And I'm just like, bro, I don't work here, fam. Like, I just need you to unload my truck so I can go. And so he's like, no, you can't cuss here. You need to go outside. You got to leave. And he puts me out. So I walk up to the dude, I'm like, hey, look, man, I didn't know. I apologize. I'm sorry. I go to pat him on the shoulder just to, like, de-escalate the situation, let him know I'm not tripping, bro. I'm trying to get my job done. I understand you having a bad day, right? I can recognize that. And as soon as I touch him on the shoulder, he's like, you can't touch me. Don't touch me. I was like, oh, man, this is crazy, bro. Like, this dude has so much negativity going on, right? And, like, I can't handle it. So he throws me out the store. You know, long story short, whatever. That's pretty much all I had to deal with. But I recognized going in there too that a lot of the people that were working around him were kind of giving off a strange energy as well. I don't even want to say negative, it was just strange. And I started to think later, I was like, I bet throughout the entire day that negative force, those negative forces, that energy was poking at that man all day, right? Was just at him all day. And I think it built up to a point where he had to lash out at somebody, and it had to be me. You know what I'm saying? Which I'm glad it was me, because I handled it probably better than most people would. I was just like, all right, bro, like, can we fix this and move on about our day or no? And the last thing I'll say about this is just also when you're in spiritual warfare, that negative energy will try to use you as a weapon against other people that it's trying to destroy or attack, right? So it would have been ultimately easy for me to go negative as well. And then here's this gentleman and myself, and we both dealing with whatever we're dealing with in life. You know what I'm saying? But now, because the enemy has attacked us all day and we both are in a negative space, we go and we fight each other, right? And so now we've made this spiritual warfare a physical warfare between one another. And we see examples of that all throughout history and society. But I say that only just so that you can change your mind and to put you in the mindset to recognize, that sometimes when people are spewing negativity at you, it's because they've been getting negativity themselves. And the best way for us to resolve that situation or to help or to aid them, right, is to just show them love. Like, I really wish I could have hugged dude. In all honesty, that was the first thing that went through my mind. I was like, bro, you need a hug. Like, for real. Because I know, like, sometimes I'll go through some negative stuff and somebody will hug me and it'll all just go away, right? Like, I'll just recognize, like, oh, like, I'm loved, right? I'm appreciated. And I just wanted to give that energy off. And so that was my attempt when I tried to pat him on the shoulder and he kind of flipped out at me. Well, going back to how that force will use us as weapons against each other, tell me why dude actually, he ended up calling and trying to file assault charges on me for patting him on the shoulder and saying, like, hey, it's all good, right? So, I mean, again, like, nothing's going to come of that and whatnot. But it just shows you how that force tries to work, right? So here I am, I'm trying to put out love because I recognize a man in distress. And I'm trying to put out love, and that love is reciprocated with, with negativity, right? With this imposing threat of like, oh, I'm gonna put charges on you or whatever. I'm like, okay, go ahead, man, like whatever, right? Because I know my heart and I know where my energy is centered at, so things like that don't affect me because I know nothing's gonna come of it. You know what I'm saying? But I wish y'all the best, man. Just stay wise, stay vigilant, and truly try to put out love in those interactions. So I would say when you're going through that warfare, really just try to attack with love, right? Counter with love. Let's not even attack, we just counter with love, right? And stay in alignment, stay in higher vibration, and I'll see you in the next video.